Well, hello out there and welcome. It's Blue Green with the Akron Digital Media Center, and today we have yet another treat, as we do with every podcast that we do. What we're doing here, we're talking to passionate people in Akron, people that are making a difference, people that are doing something to better their community. Basically, the movers and shakers, as I like to refer to them as. And we have a great one today. We have Karen Starr. Thank you for joining us, Karen, and how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. We have a lot to talk about because you are a very energetic, creative, very active person in the community. So let's go ahead and let's start off with interior design. I hear that you have a nice little place in Akron, located somewhere near the Diamond Grill, I believe, in that area. And there's a great mural on your wall. Tell us a little bit about Hazel Tree Interiors and what you do there.
Okay, well, I am co-owner of Hazel Tree Interiors. It's myself and my husband, John Hayden, and we have been open almost 4 years now there. I do interior design and John does picture framing, and then we have a gallery there where we focus on selling the work of local artists and furniture makers, lighting makers, home decor artisans. So that's what we do at Hazel Tree.
Okay. Picture framing. Now, I didn't realize you did that there. That's my father's an artist, and he's always painting and never gets the proper framing on his artwork, and that really helps out. So that's a good place for people to go to come to Akron and do that. Now, tell me a little bit about that mural out there. Is that something that you guys did, or how'd that come about?
Well, okay, so do you want the backstory?
Sure.
Okay. About a year before we opened in that location, John and I both had home-based businesses. His with his picture framing, mine with my interior design business. And about a year before, we had, this kind of brainstorming session on one day we're going to have this space where we blend both of our businesses, and we also have a space where we sell the work of all of these people that I had been incorporating into my interior design business, because I'm focused highly on local sourcing from an economic standpoint for our community, but also an environmental standpoint. So we do a lot with local sourcing and reuse of materials and things like that in the design. So a year before we opened, we were really going through this and thinking about this. And I had a dream one night of the name Hazel Tree Interiors and a picture of a big tree painted on the side of a building. And it was a different tree, it was a different shaped building and everything, but I guess that always stuck with me. So a year later, when we were ready to do this, and we found that location, it was probably maybe a month or two after. I went, oh my gosh, John, do you remember when I had that dream with this tree painted on the side of the building? Let's do that. Let's do community art instead of, we had been meeting with sign companies on what would this sign be on the side of that building? What would the font in neon be? And we went, no, let's not do that. Let's do community art. That's so much about what we're about. So we said, let's paint a gigantic mural on the side of the building. Now, John or myself, we're not talented in that way, but I did have a friend that I had worked with in my previous career as a producer of musical theater. He was a scenic designer for many of the shows that I produced, and I knew that he was so accustomed to painting something that was very close to him, but knowing what it would look like in the back of a theater. So I called Kelly Ty is his name, and I said, Kelly, what do you feel? How do you feel about getting up on a big lift and painting the side of a 60-foot wide building with the tree? And he said, I definitely want to do that. So that's how it came to be. And he had painted the word Akron in the roots, and it was just so perfect for us because of the type of work that we sell inside the building. Everyone with local roots. It was just kind of this perfect thing. We wanted on the gray Ohio days to have a big, colorful piece of art for people to smile at.
So. Oh, and it is beautiful. Well, I'm a strong believer that if you can envision it and you can see it in your dreams, you can make it happen. So there's proof in that reasoning right there. So you do a lot of green, you say. So you're repurposing things. And does that also go into your interior design as well?
It does. We do a lot of work utilizing local furniture makers that often incorporate reclaimed materials into pieces. So over the years, I've built up this wonderful network of artisans that can really take any idea that I have, and sometimes they're really crazy, but they, do it well. They can incorporate it into the design project that I'm working on. And oftentimes we are, pulling materials or pieces, elements from a salvage artist, and they're incorporating it into something that is, structurally sound, but is still using this material. A great example of that is we did a design for a local tech company, and in their conference room, we had a local artisan turn two aluminum and brass bank doors that had come out of Beechwood Mall. And they were 10 foot tall by 2 feet wide, and there were two of them. They had this gorgeous geometric key shape, that kind of Art Deco. And he had incorporated that as the tabletop, but had also built a steel structure underneath, wood at the bottom, wood around to really make it nice and modern. But he had also incorporated it where it was current day use. So it was powered with, outlets in the base for people's laptops. And the Polycom was up through the center, and the cables down through the floor and up through the center, and all of that. So we love to do stuff like that.
Very nice. I love that. You're repurposing stuff, and you're hiring local people. That's just what it's all about, keeping it in here. And that's one of the purposes of this podcast is talk about how great we have things here and just shine a little spotlight on it. Show people that there's a lot here and a lot to offer here. And, thank you for what you do and changing the visual aesthetics of the town. We are grateful for that. So how can we get a hold of you for the Hazel Tree Interiors? Is there a website?
There is. Okay. HazelTreeInteriors.com.
Perfect. Okay. So, and everybody go there, check them out if you need some picture framing or if you need some interior design work. And I'm assuming you do work across the board, whether it be for corporate or personal or whatever it may be, you can cover that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Check them out. Hazel Tree Interiors. Okay, let's talk about community building. It's something you had mentioned that you would like to talk about. So talk to me a little bit about what is community building and how do you go about it?
Well, for me, it's just really gathering together with your friends, your neighbors, other passionate people around a particular area of something, and just getting together, seeing what a need is or an opportunity for something fun to do, and going and doing it. So I do a lot of stuff, and we'll talk about the book later on. I know you had mentioned about that, but my bio starts out as Karen Starr likes to do stuff. And that's very true. I love to see a need or see an opportunity for fun and just go and do it.
So how do you go about finding like-minded individuals? These people you just come across in your contacts? Do you put a Craigslist ad out there? Do you form a group on Facebook? All the above?
All of the, well, not all of the above. I've never ventured into Craigslist land, but just from being out and about. I love people. I love talking with people. I love the people in this town. And so I'm just out and about doing a lot of different things. And from that, conversations will start, and then you just kind of, hey, do you want to do this idea? And most times enough people will say, yes, let's do that. So.
Fantastic. And there's all kinds of places you can set up meetings for free. You can go to local libraries. You can meet at local eateries, local restaurants, local bars, whatever it may be, coffee shops. Just, find the spot. And you can frequent those locations, and you can help the economy boom a little bit by buying a little bit of coffee here and there too, and start a weekly session. So they're not that hard to start. It's just doing it's the hard part, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that kind of segues over to my next segment here. Finding the energy level to do all this. I think because most of the podcasts we focus around creative individuals. Or just driven individuals. And what drives somebody? What makes them want to do what they do? For me, I love what I do. I have a lot of energy, and I apply it towards what I call my art, my video, my filmmaking, my photography. So tell me a little about managing those energy levels and managing the amount of things you do, because we haven't even got through half of it yet. We're still cutting through the amount of things you do in the community. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I do dedicate some of my work week every week to community projects. I decided when I started my own business that I was going to spend a chunk of hours every week building things that would better the whole, not just that would, make us profit. So that helps. I attend meetings during the day and coffee in the morning and that sort of thing, and really get things moving quickly with email and that sort of way. I also, even though it seems like I do a lot, I don't take on too many projects that are going to take up too much time from my family, and not too many at one time. So again, the book that we'll talk about in a while, that project took a year, and it was in my spare time, at night, here and there, and on the weekends and that sort of thing. So, it's all a matter of priorities. Obviously, my family is a huge priority to me, but also, bettering my community. It's a priority for my community, but also that, segues into my daughter's life. If we have a vibrant town, and if I can help be a part of that, then her existence is much better. So I see it all as swirling together, and it seems to work.
I love the way you think. I wish more people thought that way. It's an investment in the community. If people find pride in their community, whether it be through history, through art, through culture, and they enjoy where they live, they're less likely to abuse the community. They're proud of it. They'll find a place more than just, oh, I live in Akron. Yeah, you should be happy to live in Akron. It's a great place to be at. And you're putting that out there. And that's great. I mean, it really is. And it is about time balance too. I mean, that's one thing that I deal with. And how do you find just the amount of hours in the day to find something? But I agree. You have to find chunks. Find chunks for yourself, find chunks for your family, find chunks for personal things, but also chunk it out. It might not be tomorrow you get it done, but 6 months, 2 years, whatever, eventually you'll get that project done.
And I think it's important to say that you need collaborators.
Oh, yes.
You have to co-create projects in order to do multiple things. And pretty much everything that I am working on right now is not just I'm working on it, it is a group effort. And there are maybe, 3 or 4 people that are really responsible for taking the lead, but we all have our duties and we know what they are and we're communicating via email and things like that. Co-collaboration and co-creating is where it's at.
Agreed.
That's what really builds community.
Agreed. You got to put your ego away, and the best things you can possibly create is when everybody does something for a common good, in my opinion. You put the best work out, and you're a real testament to that. I see you all over Akron doing all different types of collaborative projects. You really are making that happen. And take a note from her. This is what you got to do. You got to go out there and make it happen. Find the time, make a difference. And if you make a difference, your community will get better.
How valuable is information? You can't put a price on it. Information transforms communities, making neighborhoods safer and more connected. At the Akron Digital Media Center, we equip you to be a storyteller using digital tools like cell phones and tablets. Training here is free. Whether it's learning photography, video making, blogging, or podcasting. And your stories will be shared through social media, your own website, or through our storytelling portal at Akronist.com. Visit www.akrondmc.com for more information on how you can participate. The Akron Digital Media Center and Akronist.com are made possible by the Akron Community Foundation, the Knight Foundation, and the Akron Summit County Public Library.
So let's talk about this book that I've been hearing about that you have out. You have a book called A is for Akron. So tell me how this A is for Akron came about.
Well, I did the project. There were 3 of us on the project that partnered on it, my co-author Joanna Wilson and I, and the graphic designer and owner of the publishing company, Dominic Caruso, was the other partner. And I had the idea about a little over a year ago. The book was just released in March of this year, of 2014. And I had the idea about a year prior, actually almost exactly to the day. It was one day off from being 1 year from the time that I sent Joanna the message to the time that we released the book, which was kind of fun. But Joanna had posted something on Facebook, and it was a magazine article that said D is for DDPP, which stands for Dance Dance Party Party. Look it up, ladies, if you don't know what that is yet. It instantly, struck a chord with me. I thought, wow, that is such a fantastic formula. And I have always been a cheerleader for Akron. I, sing its praises and love this town so much. And I've kind of done little versions of, pamphlets of things for jobs when people came in from out of town. Here's the great thing, to do, or these are the fun places to visit. And I had a Facebook group called Locally Owned Akron for a very long time that, just kind of spread the word on things like that. So I'd done micro versions of this, but then for whatever reason, it just clicked when I saw her post that, oh my gosh, we should write a book and just really honor all of the fun, fantastic things about our town. So I sent her a message and I said, I have this idea. And she said, that sounds great. What do you have in mind? And I said, I don't know yet. I just know I want to do it with you and that it'll be awesome. And so she said, cool, I know a publisher. And that's how it started. So it took us a year to write the book. And what it ended up being was a little over 100 pages of really fantastic photographs and text entries highlighting each of the main entries for each alphabet letter. So A is for Akron Art Museum, B is for Blimp, C is for Civic Theater, D is for Devil Strip, these things that are very uniquely Akron. We did research and history and wrote, a full page of information on each of these highlighted things for that letter. But then we also had photographs and captions for other things. A is for Air Doc and Archie the Snowman as well. So that sort of thing. That's what the book ended up being. And we're just so pleased with the reception on it so far. People are loving it, and we're very proud of it. And it was fun. It was just great to be able to have something tangible. All these things, where I tell people about our town and all of these different things for our town, but it was really fun to put it into something that people can put on their coffee table and say, this is where I'm from, or, that sort of thing. So that's how it came to be. That's the history on it. And
fantastic. We should check everybody that's listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, go check that out. And how can we get a hold of that book?
You can go to the website aisforakron.com, and there is a listing of the places where you can buy it.
Perfect. So for someone that wants to have an idea for a book, because there's no shortage of ideas in Akron for historical books, culture books, just ideas in general. And say that someone has a great idea. It seems to be your formula is get a great idea, collaborate, and then just make it happen. Make it happen as well as you can. Now, the whole publishing it, so you found a publisher to work with, so that took care of that end. I know you can also publish things online if you want to. There's on-demand publishing where they'll publish it, print it as you get copies made. You can sell it on Amazon. That's another route you can go. Right. Are you guys selling the book yourself? Are you selling it? Are you just selling different channels, or how are you handling that?
Well, there are local retailers. Hazel Tree Interiors is where you can go to buy signed copies of the book. So if you want Joanna and I's signature on the book, you come to my store, and that's where you can get that.
And what are the price on the signed copies?
It's all copies are $20.95.
Perfect. $20.95. Remember, go to Hazel Tree Interiors, pick one up, because everybody needs one in Akron. If you live in Akron, you need one on your coffee table, or you're just not an Akronite, the way I look at it. So go out and get one of those books right now.
And we are also selling it on Amazon and through other local retailers as well.
But my little pub for everybody, try to buy it from her directly. That works better for all the book selling ideas. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking it through Amazon. That's perfect. It's a great channel, but try to buy it local as much as you can. That's just going to help out a lot more.
We're all about supporting local.
Exactly. Like I said, nothing wrong with Amazon. Sell it to the whole wide world. But if you can get down to Hazel Tree Interiors and pick a copy up, that's a great thing to have. That's only going to build a better community, doing little things like that and helping out. So, we are all greatly appreciative of the services you're putting in to help our city out. You're putting your money where your mouth is. I love it. More people need to take your model and make this happen. So let's talk a little bit about, we talked about, interior design. We talked about community building. We talked about your fantastic book, A is for Akron. It's out there now. You also can be seen performing on various venues across Northeastern Ohio with Roxxymoron and with other projects as well. I've seen you collaborate with other people on stage here and there. So tell me a little bit about your musical background.
Oh gosh, well, I have been a singer all my life. I really did get my start in musical theater, and I was a jazz singer for a while. I sang in a funk band. I sang in a Motown cover band. This is all like in my 20s, back when I was singing all the time. And then for a decade, I stopped singing. Priority shift. I had a child, and I was focused on my career. So, being out, singing at night just wasn't my priority for my whole 30s. And then I just knew I was going to start singing again because it was something that I had always done. And, aside from singing lullabies to her, I just knew that I wanted to get up on stage again eventually. I didn't quite know what it was going to look like. I just kind of put it out there. I know it's going to happen sometime soon. So the way it formed for me, again, was with the band Roxxymoron, which is a fantastic local cover band, 8 pieces, full horn section. It's just a wonderful band and great guys, and we have a blast. So that's how it started. And then just from that, there have been different things that I've had the opportunity to collaborate musically on. I was very honored to be asked to sing at the Tuesday Musical Association's 125th anniversary gala, which was really fun because that went back to my roots of musical theater. So I was singing kind of these, Broadway tunes where we changed the words into this forbidden Broadway-esque medley, if you know that show. And so that was a huge honor. I was very, very happy to do that again. And Zach Friedoff and I have done some musical collaborations recently. I sang Kirtan for the first time, which is beautiful, yoga through song, essentially, is what that is. And so it's just been a lot of fun. I've had more opportunities to sing with Zach as well recently. And yeah, but most often I sing with Roxxymoron. We sing about one show a month. We all have families and jobs, and we just do it for fun. So it's nothing that any of us are in it to, be rock stars anymore. We're just doing it because we love music and we enjoy each other's company, and it's just a great time. So it's a great band. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I mean, it is a great band.
I can give that stamp of approval as well. I got the pleasure of seeing you guys perform at the Porch Rocker Festival at Highland Square this past summer, and it was very fun, entertaining. The interaction with the crowd was great, and it was a really good time, and that is correct. It's worth seeing. And how can we book you? How can we find Roxxymoron if someone says, "Oh, I need a cover band," or "I need a band, I need someone to perform"? How do we find that?
Well, on Facebook, we have a Facebook page, and it's Roxxymoron with 2 X's, and so you can find us there.
So it seems to be you have a very, I'm seeing a formula here and a pattern in your success.
Oh, what's that?
It seems to be you get an idea, you find like-minded individuals, you collaborate, and you make it happen. I see that across the board. And that is a good formula for success. Reach out there and find people to work with, find people to inspire you. And it helps drive you a little bit better too if you have other people that are counting on you, to be somewhere and do something. I mean, it helps me a little bit, when I'm part of a team and I have to be there. But that seems like a successful pattern. And I think that we should all take a note from that. Because I know people watching this podcast have ideas. They're just generally people are afraid to act on them because they're afraid of failure. I don't know about you in your life, but I can contest in my life. I've had a lot of failures, but every time that I've failed, I stood back up.
It is such a huge part of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's key. And you can say that as well from your experience. I understand just from you saying that, but you have to be comfortable with getting back up again. It doesn't matter. You kind of have to let your ego go and just go, well, that didn't work,
Exactly. At least you tried. Most people won't ever try. So give it a try. Take your ideas. Find some collaborators out there. Make it happen. And preferably make it happen here in Northeastern Ohio and stick around here and build this foundation. We already have great roots. Now we're building a foundation. We have a great future here with all the great arts out there. So Karen, once again, tell me about where we can get Hazel Tree Interiors. Where can we find you at on there again?
HazelTreeInteriors.com.
Perfect. How can we get a hold of the book? A is for Akron?
AIsForAkron.com.
Perfect. And how can we get a hold of Roxxymoron?
Go to Facebook and Roxxymoron.com with 2 X's.
Perfect. Okay, Karen, once again, I want to thank you. Is there any parting words you have out there for these, we'll say they are cocooned butterflies waiting to open up? They have great ideas, but they're just need that inspiration. What can you tell them?
Oh, what a beautiful way to phrase that, the butterflies. Yeah, I think that the key is, you can't get rid of fear. We all have fear about things, but you just kind of got to put yourself out there. When you get to the other side of putting yourself out there and you look back, you go, oh, that wasn't so ouchy after all. And there's so much along the way that you'll experience and, that you'll get to do for your community. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun just, collaborating with people and just saying, hey, I've got this passion. What about you? And I think, that so much of who I am today is because I just constantly did that throughout my whole life. And so I'm trying to, instill that in my daughter. And I don't know, just go for it. Just go for it, people.
Keep on doing what you do. We appreciate it. We greatly do here in Ohio, and people take a note on you. Now, one more thing I wanted to add, I keep on forgetting here. If anybody's watched this podcast and someone, will say famous from Akron or someone that's affluent in Akron and they want to endorse her product, A is for Akron, I'm sure they can send you an email through the aisforakron.com and possibly give you a written endorsement for how good your book is, which may help, show people that this is a really good book. So if anybody out there knows anybody that wants to help endorse Karen's product, please contact her at aisforakron.com. Any support we can give out there to the book, the better. Buy it for Christmas next year now. Get your holiday gifts out of the way. Go get the book at Hazel Tree Interiors.
I didn't pay him to say this.
No, really. I'm completely promoting it. It's for Akron. I push everything I possibly can for Akron, and let's make this happen for her. Well, once again, Karen, thank you so much for taking your time. I greatly appreciate it. Go out there, check out her products. You'll see her around town. She's all over the place, performing on maybe possibly at Musica sometime, maybe possibly at is it Jill's Music Room. There's so many places you'll see her around town. So go out, check out her work, check out her products. Thanks again, Karen. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you. This has been Blue Green with the Akron Digital Media Center. This is the formula. Get an idea, collaborate, find like-minded individuals, and make it happen.